the way from Georgia, the state that might be holding down this election while we're filming this. I got Cantrell here with me. What's up, bro?
How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm good, man. Yo, I love this new project. So what now? Out now. And yo, bro. So what now, man? So what
Yeah,
now? So
I
what
mean,
now?
that seems to be the question, ain't it?
So what now? And I get the name of the project when I first started listening to it, but now that I finished it, like I feel like I fully have like a new appreciation for what you're trying to convey on this project. And it just dropped. So talk to me a little bit about the creation, the message behind it, everything that you wanted to do with this new I guess part of your career.
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of had my own Goliath to fight through. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And 2019 was
Hmm.
it was beat me up, and I wasn't writing as much. I wasn't
Hmm.
creating as much. I kind of fell into uh, I don't want to say a dump, and I don't want to say a slump. It's somewhere in between.
A
Good and
dump and a slump.
whatever that may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Um, no, and funny enough, writing through it was the way. You know what
Mm,
I mean? And I wanted to convey the energy of going through something and that being the way through. You know what I mean? Like
right.
going through, getting through is the way through. You know, and I wanted to embody that. I wanted that to come out in the music. I wanted that to come out in the lyrics, the the tone, the mood. I wanted it to come out in the artwork. I wanted it to come out in any piece of fabric of the body work that I could, the title, anything. And I feel like we captured it. If I must say so myself,
Hmm.
and it's been a pleasure to watch people live with it. I usually get real obsessive when I put out things. I'm like, all right, we need to do this now. We need to do this. We need to do that.
Right.
It's been a pleasure to live with people living with it, and it's been different for me, and it's been liberating for me too. So, and that was the goal. A little to be a little freer on the other side of this was the goal at the end of the day. So it's
And
funny.
you mentioned like the album cover, even like the album cover, you're just like you're sitting on the couch, your chains hung up on the TV, or you're sitting on a TV. I'm like trying to like, it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of like a different man. It's like I don't know, like a little bit of an optical illusion too, to
Yep.
some extent.
Yep.
And now that I'm looking at it and I'm talking to you about it, I didn't even realize that it was an optical illusion. My brain just registered it now, which is cool.
Yep.
Even in this, you're sitting on top of the TV on the couch and you're just kind of you got your head like this, and it just like it literally looks like you're thinking, so what am I doing now?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. It was a lot of swirls and whirlwind about what was I gonna do now. It's like, all right, man, he's got this, but I don't hear this from him, or he's this, but I don't hear that, or I've seen him do this, but what is he gonna do now? He's in this situation, but he's not in that situation. Like, what is next for him? I don't see it. I don't hear it. I don't get it. Whatever it may have been, and I used to let that rule me. It used to
Mhm,
rule my thoughts. It used to take up too much rent,
mhm.
in my too much space in my mind without paying rent, as people would say. You know what I mean? And I just had to break free from it, and I had to write my way out of it at the end.
And I love that you've taken like this new direction with it. And so so talk to me about how like so obviously you're independent. So like now that you're independent, what are I guess some of like the challenges that you face, I guess, navigating the waters right now? Because you talked about like a little bit about the writing and stuff like that. But how have you been like and in during times of COVID too? That's like a big difference now. How
Yeah,
have you been like navigating the waters of an independent artist?
yeah. I think it's been easy for me this year
Mhm.
because before signing the deal, when I was with Mass Appeal, that's how it was. When I hit the ground running, I think I started trying to hit the ground running when I was in college, right?
Mhm.
So trying to get a hang of it, trying to get used to putting out music when you're in college. You're trying to get to perform and wherever you can, and you just get used to ground roots things.
Mhm.
And you start trying to pay your dues. And I'm big on paying dues. I never want to stop, no matter how big this thing gets. At the end of the day, dues have to be
Nice.
paid to some degree. So it's really just been getting back to basics for me, and getting back to self, back to full self.
Mhm.
Um, so it really wasn't too big of a shift for me. The
Right.
biggest obstacle I think I'm gonna face is fighting through um, more freedom.
Mm.
It's like leaving a job,
Right.
chase a dream. It's like, what do I do with all this time? What do I do with all this freedom? It's like getting back into a disciplined space in certain aspects, I feel like parallel to that for me in my career, I think it's probably gonna be the biggest obstacle that I can foresee at the moment. Everything else is, I mean, this is hip hop. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it was built off the back of the wall. You know, this is how it was built. You know what I mean? So I feel like everything else is just taking it a day at a time for me. Besides that,
Now, if you don't mind me asking, is everything like, is it all love with you and Master P and Nas? Like, is everything cool still? Like, if you don't mind me asking that, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
just curious.
Nah, that's a fair question. Nah, and I respect it. I appreciate that. Nah, it's good. Everything's good. When I was free as of the 1st of January this year,
Hmm.
and we departed. We departed on good terms. You know, it just was a sticky. It wasn't anything bad that happened between us. We didn't
Hmm.
have a sticky situation. The stickiest part about it was the timing. It just was
Right.
weird timing. You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense for me moving forward. I was at a weird place in my career, my contract, where because I know somebody may be listening that may be an artist, right? So I
Hmm.
kind of feel like I need to divulge this set of the information. Um, I was at a place where I'd already put out 2 projects back to back. So my next thing in my contract, my next obligation was a full length album. I
Hmm.
didn't feel like I was ready for that, and I know they didn't, and I knew what they weren't about to commit to. So we were at a place where at that point in the year where we were talking, they had to commit, and I had to commit. What I had to commit to was what they said they weren't going to commit to. Just trying to give it without giving too much, and it just
Hmm.
wasn't gonna be worth it. If I was gonna put all my money in myself, I'd rather keep everything. You know what I mean? At least
100%.
for the unforeseeable future. Like I didn't want any handouts, but for as far as I could see, I was gonna be doing that for who knows long. So it's like I'd rather keep everything. I'd rather keep my rights to everything. I'd rather keep all my masters, and I'd rather do this with my people. And if we're gonna take this kind of risk, we might as well do it this way. They respected it, and it's been handshake, love. All right, let's keep it moving.
Well, that's also very dope that you said that you have your masters and all that. That's also a big achievement as an artist in and of itself, because we know how all these things go.
Yeah,
Today's news is Little Pump's contract with everything going on with him. They're
yeah,
throwing those around, and how his masters and all that stuff is set up with his label. So I think that that's still a very dope thing that you left on good terms,
yeah,
and you still got you got your masters, which is
yeah.
beautiful.
No, man, it's amazing. Well, it's a more important thing was me for having my masters moving forward.
Of
You know
course.
what I'm saying? Like with if they weren't gonna be if they weren't gonna wanna I'm trying to I'm trying to dance, you know what I mean?
It's okay, bro. You don't gotta
Okay,
go all
okay,
into it. It's all good.
okay.
Don't worry. Don't
Like,
worry.
just because it is love, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a family oriented vibe over there, man, and that's why I signed more than anything. More than the Nas co-sign, it was the family oriented vibe. It was a family affair over there, and that's what I'm trying to respect at the end of the day and not give too much detail. But at the end of the day, it just was my message moving forward, knowing that we were going to be the type of work we were going to be putting forward, being signed, and
Mhm.
knowing what we weren't going to get. I was like, all right, I might as well do this myself if that's just how it's gonna be. And I was like, all right, cool. No, we respect it. Like we can't do anything but respect it. It's been love ever since.
That's dope. And to go off, what you just said about Nas, one of the tracks on your project is called Advice from Nas, and I kind of version 2, and I love how you kind of on the record you were like, oh yeah, Nas told my mama I got it. So like for all the people who may be watching, like you mentioned that some other artists who may not be as familiar with you might be watching right now. What was like, what advice did Nas give you, I guess when you were at the label, maybe after you left, if he gave you any advice, and like the stuff with your mom too.
Man, my favorite part about that record is the irony of it. So that part that you're talking about, that's kind of the only advice I got. And
Oh
it's the
wow.
irony of it to me is the fact that I didn't get it directly from him. It came
Mm,
through my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like it came through my mama. So it just was ironic but dope at the same time. It's like okay, there's a small percentage of people that can say they spoke with Nas or chilled with Nas or they got this game from Nas, but there's a probably even smaller amount of people that can say Nas told their mama that, hey, nah, your son is very talented, this, and the third. You know what I mean?
that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's my favorite part about the record is the fact that it came uh, that's the part of the advice that came. Is I mean, we have his records, right? You know, we have the gems that he's
Mhm.
left, the gold that he's left in his songs, and
Mhm.
that's another a slight gem for the record for people that may listen to it, just to keep the ear open, their eyes open for it,
I
to
love
catch
that.
what I may have done. But yeah, that's the I guess that would be the advice I got. It's like, you know, your son is very talented, and for me, that's just validating what I already knew, and it's comforting to come from somebody like that. And it's like, ah, you know what? Maybe the people that felt like you were one way or stubborn or this was that, it's like,
Mhm.
nah, it's in you. You know what I'm saying? It's what you got and what you need is already in you.
I love that. I love that. And so I noticed I was going through your gram earlier, and I noticed that you have this thing now, label clothing shop called the Free Minds.
Yeah.
So kind of moving from that, from our last conversation to this. So what's this new kind of venture that you got going on? Because I was peeping a little bit. I was doing my research. So tell me about what you got going on with this now.
That's the I appreciate that too. To be honest with you and frank with you, I appreciate that research. Um,
No problem. Hey, bro, I'm just doing my job. I want to make sure that we talk about everything, and I do my due diligence by you.
yeah, for sure. And that's but funny enough, that's why I say for me, it's just getting back to full self
Mhm.
because Free Minds is a company that I started in 2015 when I felt like things were about to get ready to turn the corner for me
Mm.
in different lights. Like 2015, I put out a record. It was the first time I got a major blog look.
Mm.
It was the first time I got a partnership with a major brand. Me and a couple of other artists, we did a partnership with Converse that year. So that was also the year that I founded Free Minds. And doing the Mass Appeal deal, it was a partnership. I just wasn't um, filtering it through Free Minds at the time. I wanted to get some other things in order. But that's why I say it's funny that it's just back to basics for me. It's just back to full self. It's a record company I founded in 2015, and we just hit the ground back running with it. You know what I mean?
And you got some like clothing and stuff like that you're doing with it as well.
Yeah, and that's what's funny, man. It was I used to sell clothes before I was like, you know, I was I was more confident in selling clothes than I was in music at first. You know, like I mean, I was putting it out, but
Right.
I was selling out clothes in 24 hours in 2013
Hmm.
when I was still trying to figure out music, and it just assisted me along the way. And that's just something I'm gonna always carry forward with it at the end of the day.
Man, I love that. I love that. So what else you got coming up for the rest of, so what now? So rest of 2020, 2021. So what now? What we got next? 'Cause I know you got some videos coming out.
For sure.
But what else you got planned for the rest of this year and beyond?
For sure, man. We want to just keep pouring good and positive energy into people first and foremost, because clearly
Mhm.
the world needs it, not just our country,
Facts.
our local communities, but clearly the world needs it first and foremost. And I want to apply the pressure, man. Funny enough, the validation I was seeking last year that I wanted to break free from,
Hmm.
it's like now it's like, nah, you know what? I do want it. I just know why. I just know it's me now. I know it's
Hmm.
inside me. I know the validation I need is within me from God.
Right.
And but nah, I'm still gonna apply that pressure. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, I know it ain't you. It's me. So yeah, we gonna keep trying to apply the pressure, man. Um, and just keep walking the walk, man. I'm trying to figure out how many different ways to say it, but it's really just pressure time. You know, like
Yeah.
people want to know like what is this kid gonna do now? Like who leaves? I would never, you know, like you can just picture a guy, right? You know, like man, if I was in that position, I would never leave. You know, being signed with Nas, I would never leave being under the leadership of Peter Bender. It's like, man, I would never do that if I had the opportunity. Why would he do that? It's like, okay, let me show you why I have the confidence to do that. You know what I mean? So it's
I
pressure.
respect it.
You know what I mean? It's pressure time, man. The validation is in me, and I know where it comes from. And it's
Mhm.
just time to show that and walk that at the end of the day, and just be full and present in my full self at the end of the day.
I love that. I love that. So do you have anything else dropping this year besides like some videos, or you just gonna, you're gonna let so what now just hang out?
No, I'm
Uh,
definitely trying to drop something else. I'm
Dope.
definitely trying to get something else off for sure. For sure, it's gonna be interesting too. For sure.
Wow. Why is it gonna be interesting? I feel like you're not telling me something.
Man, like the year's been crazy, right? And
Uh-huh.
I haven't said this anywhere else. The year's been crazy, and I feel that some of the ideas that were birthed
Mhm.
during the process of creating So What Now, I feel like I didn't give them. I feel like they needed their own space to live. So
Mm.
I'm gonna try my best to give them that. And the things that I have to say, the things that I have to speak on, it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be crazy. And the bars are gonna be crazy as well. We gotta keep it going.
Yo, got it. Yo, when I was like listening to you, like when you know when your stuff first came across my on my radar, no pun intended, I was like, yo, man, this guy got like a real like a really dope like Kendrick, Andre 3000 type of vibe to him. But like that's not me comparing you to them. That you're your own artist. But
Yeah,
like that's kind of like the sense that I was getting from the records, and I was like, oh, he got something. So like I'm excited for you that you feel like you're free to explore whatever you want to do now,
yeah,
and it's still all love with everything in your past situation to your current situation.
yeah. No, it's great. I'm grateful for that, man. Like I don't, excuse me, I don't shrivel or shrink at, um seeming comparisons. Like it's love to me.
Mhm.
Like that's good company. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. I'm grateful. That's good company.
I'm
That is great
glad.
company. I appreciate it. But nah, it's pressure time for sure. It's pressure time.
Is that the name of the next project? Is that what you do? Okay,
Nah, it's not. It's not.
I was just trying to get, hey, bro, I was just trying to get it out of you.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. And that's what's funny, man. I try to still carry myself a certain way, even though I know I'm still in the discovery phase. I still try to carry myself a certain way. I still like the element of surprise a little bit for the people that may come along the way. It's like, nah, you know
Mhm.
what? I may follow this guy. It's like I like to still keep an element of surprise. So it's gonna be interesting for sure, though. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
Love that, man. Love that, man. Well, thank you for taking the time to chop it up with me today. Before we go, anything that the people got to know where they can follow you at, your website, the free minds, all that stuff. Now's the time. Go ahead, plug it in for them.
For sure. First off, I appreciate you for giving your time. You know what I mean? Time is something that's the only thing we can spend and we can't get back. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I appreciate you as well.
Of course, of course.
You can follow me. Me on everything. I am Cantrell. That's I am, not I am. I am Cantrell. And if you feeling not frisky, but if you feeling like real personable and and curious, if it's really me, you can text me 229-207-0165. Um, I try to give my number out to. I'm just trying to keep, be more personable with people that want to be more personable because I send
Hmm.
inspirational texts, um, inspirational photos.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be giving sneak peeks to the sessions because I don't give my creative process away.
Hmm.
But in the future, doing this next thing, I'm gonna be giving people videos to that. I give exclusive music like Advice from Nas Part One. People that have that number, they got that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's some exciting things that happen for people that want that. You know what I mean? We encourage people to vote and register to vote on that number.
Hmm.
We just kept people tapped in, and we help people with keep their sanity with everything going on as much as possible. Just people that want it, you know what I mean. So that
Hmm.
number is there if you want it. If not, you can follow me in those places. So what now is out now, and I'm grateful, man.
Boom, man. There it is. Cantrell on the radar. Appreciate you, bro.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you.